This is your WWF news of a Wednesday afternoon. Now, one thing people should know outside, whether it's left or right of the political spectrum, they're all scumbags, and they always make a lot of bullshit up to cover their arses, or they double down. Well, for most of the sheep, they take the bait as usual and end up in certain situations. At the end of the day, they will regret for the rest of their life, probably for the rest of their miserable existence as well. Enough about that, let's get into the news. Now, I came across this thing this morning here in Italy. The Italian Ministry of Defence for the army has ordered more than 1,000 tanks. 1,000 tanks. And this contract was signed with the defence contractor Leonardo, which does anything which regarding defence or military stuff. And it's based on Bradley or Lynx class tank, and it'll be made in various versions, adapted for various scenarios of war, I should say. And the first 6 are already been delivered to a military base, which they actually test these things outside Rome already. And this contract was signed last year in November, October, and it only was made public now. And the fact is, you say to yourself, why all of a sudden Italy needs a necessity to order 1,000 tanks just like that? They'll probably say renewal to replace the old tanks, because they absolutely clapped out old bangers. It's basically the same situation. And any Western NATO country have aging military hardware. And obviously, seeing we're going to war probably tomorrow, let's arm Europe. It's in the famous 800 billion euros which Europe's going to spend to rearm itself. And the fact is, it does not, have effect on the PNR. Obviously, Brussels is very rigorous. Their percentage of deficit must not come out of that range, otherwise there will be an impeachment or some shit like that. But for military spending, each country will have to spend 5% of its so-called GMP, or PIL in Italian, for that. And Brussels says, fine, you can go in deficit for military spending. But when it comes to providing decent services like healthcare, better schools, or things for citizens, spending for civilian use, no. If you overspend, you commit an infraction and all that shit. So one could say, yes, they have to renew it. No. They're preparing for war. In Italy, like many other countries, they are preparing. And that thing regarding Meloni and the suspension of the defence deal or whatever, help, or what you would call it, I think it's just a load of bullshit, because in Israel, Leonardo has various installations and plants regarding the sector defence. I don't think they can back out on that due to political virtual signaling. No. There's a lot more interest behind this. And, you know, Trump is absolutely furious with Meloni about this for backing out regarding, I think it was the entering the so-called task force of ships which have to be sent down to Hormuz. I don't think the European military ship shape, not even to leave the port, let alone participate. You know, these things takes weeks or months to you know, to prepare, organise. And obviously, I don't think the European military forces, where it's sea, air or land, are in no shape to front no type of mission. And that's why probably this rearming is a part of this so-called preparation for a future war with someone. Russia, China, Iran, God knows what. We are just governed by psychopaths in the West. And obviously you probably heard about United Kingdom. The military and the police and emergency services must prepare for a war transition. And you hear it from Canadians as well. And also mentioned some videos back, some European countries are thinking about reintroducing military service, draft of conscription. Americans have modified it, they made it automatic. Your so-called to be enlisted in the military is automatic. The Canadians and I think some other country, they're thinking of inscripting even immigrants, which there's loads of them. There's not enough locals to fight these wars, because the West, each year passes, they age even more, and therefore, you know, regarding the welfare system, that will collapse sooner or later, because you've got illegals on welfare. Most European citizens are coming towards the retiring age, and then there's going to be a lot of them. Who's going to pay the pensions? You know, politicians do not disclose these things regarding the welfare system. Financially speaking, they're in huge deficit, like all Western countries basically. And obviously, pass from 2.5% to 5% military spending or defence for each nation. The money's going to be taken away from there, as I said before. Welfare system, national health, schools, and any other type of thing which you know, citizens need. And obviously you end up paying more taxes at the end of the day, thanks to the European Union. Because the European Union is behind the shenanigan. We must rearm because we must fight Russia one day. No, I think the fact is, you'll never be ready to fight the Russians, not even in 10 years' time. I suppose they're laughing their socks off. Because, as I described before, all the military forces in Europe are dwindling recruits and aging military hardware. It's best to stay at home instead of declaring war, because at the end of the day, you piss someone off, some atomic bomb will explode on the top of you, and end the story. Like I said, we're governed by crazy people.